Hello everyone, hope you're having a glorious day. How do you know what is true? Well, in the last video we learned that science answers natural truth claims, not supernatural truth claims. And many times I talk with people and ask them, how do you know if God is real? Can you know if God is real? And oftentimes I get something like, oh, I don't believe in God because I'm a science guy. Well, science is the wrong tool for the job. See, it's like using a wrench to see how much someone weighs. The truth of God can be explored despite science being inadequate to evaluate God. Let's see how this works. So, Jesus made a claim, I am God. Now, can this be scrutinized by science? Well, it's not observable, we weren't there, it's not predictable, it's not repeatable. So it's not, science is not the right tool. Now, can we use reality testing, which uses logical, is it verifiable, and is it important? Well, let's break these down. Is it logical that if God made the world, that he could write himself into the story as Jesus, perform miracles, be perfect or sinless, predict and complete his own death and resurrection, and then appear to more than 500 people who transmitted a verifiable record throughout time? And what is it important? Yes, of course. Well, Christianity, if false, is of no importance, and if true, is of infinite importance. The only thing it cannot be is moderately important. And it's really important to understand the difference of verifying something rather than observing it. See, I didn't observe that George Washington was elected and put into the office of the United States as the first president. My dad and mom didn't see it, so I can't really rely on them. But there are people that did see it and transmitted a reliable, verifiable chain of evidence that allows me to confidently exclaim that George Washington was indeed the first president of the United States. So let's test out this other claim of Jesus, love your enemies. Well, we could put this to science. We could see what happens if we love our enemies. It's observable, predictable, repeatable. And it is true. And people do come out better when they actually forgive and drop things from their enemies and love them. Can we scrutinize it with reality testing? Is it logical, verifiable, and important? Yes. And it turns out that this comes to be true. Now, what about evolution's claim that higher life forms come from lower life forms? Well, we can scrutinize this with science, observable, predictable, and repeatable science, experimental science. We can scrutinize this with our reality testing. And when we do this, it turns out that if you understand evolution, it is not logical, it's verifiably not true, and it is important, which makes it outside of truth, outside of science, outside of our awareness, our reliability. We never see spontaneously a salamander give birth or have a mutation and there arises a new higher life form. Now, evolution makes another claim of change over time. And can we scrutinize this with science? Sure, it's observable, predictable, repeatable. Does it fit with our reality testing? Is it logical, verifiable, important? Yes, of course. And it does fit true. So it's in our awareness, it's also in science, it's also true. That change over time is a reliable belief, a reliable idea. And in evolution, it explains survival, not arrival. It simply explains differential reproduction, not the origination of life. Now, in trying to understand the mind and how it operates in reality, the mind operates and maneuvers in reality, discovering truth to arrive at understanding reliable beliefs and trustworthy thoughts that we can trust with confidence to act on, to make choices on. The opposite is the product of evolution, which means our thoughts and ideas are just the end result of a random, unguided chance event called evolution. And so why would they be reliable or trustworthy? Our choices and behaviors are just a product of the collocation of atoms swirling around in our brains and the antecedent events that happened, and they were determined. So our own reality testing mechanism proves we have God attributes. We have dominion. We can interact in the world. We can test our beliefs and ideas, and we can change and make choices that are different based on testing these ideas and beliefs out. We are made in the imago Dei. We are made in the image of God. Now, many people, because of intellectual doubt, never actually look at these beliefs or ideas. They actually just ignore them, or they busy themselves with, jobs or parenting, or they entertain themselves to death, or they momentarily escape with drugs and alcohol. Now, others have blind faith, so they just believe it's true because an 8th grade science teacher told them evolution was true, or their pastor told them creation was true, so they just blindly believe it. That is a blind faith that rejects the reality testing mechanism. Now, others have volitional doubt, so they know they've wrestled with perhaps these ideas, and they know the implication, the moral implication that comes from knowing this truth. So they volitionally choose to not accept it. And then there's others that have been hurt by church members or maybe a pastor or bad theology, and they have an emotional hurt that they can't get past to look at these truths, look at these ideas and beliefs. Some even saw Jesus and his miracles and did not believe him. Others who heard of his miracles came to him and asked for a sign or a miracle. They said, "Show me." Well, the truth is, everyone watching this video has enough access to information to determine the truth of who Jesus is. In the next video, I will share how, in a medical school microbiology class, I came to know with 100% confidence that God is true.